Hello, this is old Mr. Kent of MrKent.com, and I have a story to tell, but this is not a story from the past. This is a story that is going on right now, and so I'll start out by introducing what's going on here. This is my wife's flowers and so forth, and I usually do my filming over there in front of that shed. But this is the place that I wanted to make the video because of what happened here. Okay, so part one. This bike here, this e-bike, I rode it one day years ago. Well, it's been a year ago or so. Anyway, it's been around a year ago. I rode it, went for a ride in the morning, came back, and I hadn't bought a trike yet. Came back, and it needed to be on charge. So around the corner here, I'll show you. You go around the corner there and look to the left, and you'll see the entrance to my son's shop. And usually I took my bike in the shop, but on that day I left it outside for some reason. And back then, I always left the battery in the vehicle when I charged it up. It's just a little bit easier. I don't do that anymore. Okay, so that was in the morning. It was cool, and I forgot about it, and the day went on. The morning went on, and my wife had a birthday card that she wanted to mail, and so she asked me if I would mail it, and I said, sure, and I forgot all about the fact that my bike was on, I didn't forget, but I knew it was. So I decided, okay, I'll just go on the bike and go put it in the mailbox so it'll get picked up. So anyway, I went out, and of course it was 95 degrees that day, and the bike was sitting in the sun, and I disconnected all the charging and took the envelope, put it in my belt or something, turned the bike on, started going out the door or out the yard, and I got about out to the road and everything died. And so I came back, and I had to do a lot of troubleshooting, and so a lot of troubleshooting. And so I found out that for one thing, the battery overheated, and it's a 54-volt battery when fully charged, and I charged it up, and it only went to 26 volts, something like that. Anyway, it was about half, and so I knew the battery was bad, and then also found out that the what do you call it? Anyway, the controller, the brain, it had burned out, and so that was burned up, and the brain. And then later on, I found out that the motor got burned up. So what happened is everything was hot, and I wasn't inside of it, so I don't know. But everything was hot, and the controller just kind of went crazy, and that charging, that voltage that I had it charged up to, just burned everything out. So it burned out the battery, burned out the motor, and burned out the controller. So in order to replace that, by the way, I went to Rad Bikes to get replacements. All I could get was a replacement battery, and they wanted $600 for that. I found out later I could have got it someplace else for $400, but anyway, $600 for a new battery. But then I couldn't nothing on their website worked. I couldn't get in to get the other parts. I tried emailing, never got a reply. We live out in farm country. Anyway, never got a reply. And then I tried calling, and I got a message that said the phone lines have been disconnected because we're so busy. Well, I don't know whether they were busy or they didn't, or they were shutting down. But as it turned out, I couldn't buy any parts from them. But I found a nice place. It's called I tell you what, my brain goes dead when I start trying to figure these things out. Electro Bike World. And I'll even put a link to it if you want in the descriptions. But I went there. They had everything I needed and at a lower price and free shipping. So if you're looking for some place to get a good deal on parts for your e-bike, Electro Bike World is where I went. Okay, so I finally got all the parts. By the time it was all through, it was over $1,000 to repair that bike. But it runs now, and I'm happy with it. And and so right now I've got a thermometer here, and let's see what the temperature is sitting in the sun. If I can get it to read. Oh, it's over 60 degrees centigrade. So it's above that. I don't know what it is. So anyway, in the sun, sitting in the sun, is what actually caused my bike to go bad, because I had not thought about that. It was on charge. That heats things up. I took off. Everything was hot already, and it burned that out. Now, let me tell you my sad story about my trike. You see how it's sitting here? And all this is in the shade, but this is not in the shade. And it's warm to the touch, very hot to the touch, as a matter of fact. And so I had gone for a ride. I went on my morning ride, went about 7 miles or so, 8 miles maybe. Anyway, I got home and I parked it here, and the battery needed to be charged, but I decided, well, I don't think I'm going to charge the battery right now. I'll just go in and get cooled off and everything. And so later on, I came out. I pulled that battery out, and I've got a second battery. I put the second battery in, and of course you got to push some buttons on the battery to get it to work. I put the second battery in, and then I fired. I hit the on button and everything worked. And I said, okay. And then I went in the house. Well, later in the day, I had to go pick up the mail, and so I came out, and this thing was totally dead. And the reason I believe it was dead was because this was sitting in the sun, just like it is right now. Everything else was not in the sun, but this thing was. So I went through the manual. I did everything I could do to check, make sure everything was okay, and it passed all the tests on everything. There was nothing other than the controller. So I went to tech support at electricbikes.com, and I talked to a nice young lady, and I told her my story about how I'd gone out riding, and I came back, and I put a new battery in later on, and this was sitting out in the sun, and I turned it on, and it looked like it was going to be okay, but then later, when I came out to use it, nothing would turn on. And so she was nice enough. That's why I like these electric bikes. She wasn't rude. She didn't interrupt me, but she said, okay. It was like she knew what was going on. She said, okay, I'm going to send you a new controller and a new on-off switch, like as if that's things that happen. She also lives in Arizona, and she knows how hot it gets here. And so anyway, it's coming later today, and then I'll be able to check and see if that's the problem or if it was something else. But I highly doubt that it was something else, because this was the part that was sitting in the sun like it is right now. And I don't know what the temperature is. It's more than 60 degrees centigrade. And so I guess the lesson, you would think I would learn from that one. But I didn't even think about that this was sitting out in the sun. So now I've learned. If you live in the Arizona area or an arid part of the world, what I think I'll do is I'll find me some kind of a cover to put over this. So, because I usually park it right here, put over it. And if I come out and want to go for a ride, I take that cover off, and this will be not near as hot to the touch as it is right now. And so I would suggest if you live in a hot, arid area, that you be real careful. Learn from my mistakes, and hopefully you won't burn out your equipment. And I'm hoping that this is the only thing. She seemed to know exactly what I needed. So next video, I'll let you know. And in the meantime, thank you for watching my videos, and God bless.